36 years on, the families of the Hillsborough disaster victims have just finished a meeting with the Prime Minister after the announcement of legislation aimed at preventing cover-ups of major scandals and major disasters.
97 football fans died when they were crushed in the crowd in the stands of the Hillsborough Stadium during an FA Cup semi-final match between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest back in 1989. Initially, blame was placed on the victims, but they were vindicated following an inquiry in 2016.
It's been such a long time, but landmark legislation is finally being introduced that will mean, in the future, public officials have a legal duty to tell the truth, and if they don't, they can be sent to jail. Well, joining us now are two of the campaigners who've been fighting for justice for those 97 victims and their families, and who were with the Prime Minister just minutes ago. Margaret Aspinall, who lost her 18-year-old son, James, and Charlotte Hennessy, whose father, Jimmy, died. She was just 6 years old at the time. Look, good morning to you both. I can barely imagine what you must be feeling. As I say, this has been coming for such a long time, but the day's here. You've done it. How do you feel?
Well, if I may start first, Charlotte, obviously very, very pleased with what's going to happen today in Parliament. You know, as you said, we've been fighting for such a long time to get to the stage where we are. But this is not about the Hillsborough families. This is about the good of the nation going forward for generations to come. And we should be proud that a law is getting changed for the ordinary people of this country. We've had to campaign for so many years. We've had to go with cap in hand, raising funds for our loved ones to go through all the courts. No family should have to do that. We should never have had to fight for media as well as the government. It was so important, and I think today's a day of celebration, really.
Did you
Well, the reason I say it's a day of celebration because we have done things that's monumental. It's history, really, making. We've still got a lot of work to do. There's obviously more to be put to it, but that can go on as the process goes ahead. You know, so really we all should be celebrating today what's happened.
Charlotte, did you ever feel at any point like giving up?
Yes. This hasn't been easy. However, we have persisted. We've stuck by our morals. We've made it very, very clear that we would only commit and endorse a Hillsborough law in its entirety. We've never wavered on that. You know, I do agree with Margaret that we do need to celebrate that. And we do need to, you know, really stay positive about the progress. You just touched on there, you know, in 2016, Liverpool fans were completely vindicated of any wrongdoing. And, you know, we finally had verdicts of deaths of our loved ones, which were the truth. And at that moment, I felt this positive. And I really thought that change was going to come. And then the criminal cases were appalling. And, you know, they may have gotten away with that, but the fact that they were able to walk away from court scot-free, being already told that they're, you know, they were grossly negligent to a criminal standard, and then to walk away from a criminal court, it was that was what gave me the drive again. You know, and I think that today is a testament that it almost acknowledges that the lies told by the then 1989 Chief Superintendent, his officers, and all those that were party to the cover-up, those lies were so despicable and so abhorrent that we fought to change the law. And I feel really empowered by that. You know, there's been times where you've felt really down and out, and I feel very empowered that, you know, we have been able to make a significant change for the good people of this country, and to make sure that nobody ever has to go through what we've been through.
I think it's a disgrace that we've had to do this, really. Because when you get somebody walks away, as Charlotte was saying then, found guilty to a criminal negligence and walks away with a big fat pension, and the only people that were left to suffer were yet again the victims. The perpetrators got rewarded, and unfortunately the innocents got punished. And that's why we had to change a law.
Yeah.
As we were saying earlier on, we've still got a long way to go. You know, there's more to be added, there's more to be done. But we will be watching closely and make sure it does get done. We will be watching very carefully.
And we have asked the Prime Minister, you know, we've made it very clear, you know, he made a promise. We've kind of had to fight to make him keep that promise and make sure that it was done within its entirety. But I have asked him, you know, will you extend that promise a little bit further and just make sure that this law isn't watered down now? Because outside, you know, number 10, it's all positive. We're all feeling very positive. However, inside there are still people that, you know, want to obstruct and want to water this down. And it doesn't stop here. We are going to keep on going. And the Prime Minister has said, it's made another promise, yeah, and he has said it doesn't need to be watered down. So, you know, that's something else that we're going to hold him accountable to and make sure that is fulfilled.
But at the same time, we've got to thank him for all what's been achieved so far, because we never thought we'd get this far, did we? We really didn't.
No.
There was times we all wanted to walk away from this, but we knew we had to change it for the good of the people, the good of the nation. And we are proud of what we've achieved so far, but we've still got a lot to do.
Yeah.
Thank you both for being with us this morning to extract that promise from the Prime Minister not to water down. This legislation is an enormous achievement in itself, but my goodness, you have both spent almost 40 years, and in your case, Charlotte, that's most of your life, campaigning for this law to be introduced. And, you know, huge tribute to both of you to be able to secure what you have secured as that bill goes, you know, makes its journey through Parliament. Thank you both, and our thoughts are with you.
It is wonderful to see the vindication this morning after, as you say, Susanna, all you've been through. It's marvellous to see what you've achieved. You've made a difference, and by God, have you paid, and have you paid for it. Congratulations.